When I started to look at coaching programs, I started by looking at the International Coaching Federation site and became quickly overwhelmed. But one thing that I knew was that because of how much I'm interested in interacting with people, learning about people, their different aspects of their lives, I knew I wanted a program that was looking at holistic. And CTW was one of the ones that really drew me because it didn't just use the word holistic, but really talked about, the whole person coaching and really getting that opportunity to learn about the different ways that you can really support an individual through coaching. So that I thought was unique and really drew me to CTW. One of the things that I remember early on was Ferosha telling us that doing this program, we're going to really end off doing a lot of self-reflecting. You're supporting people, but you're going to do a lot of self-reflection. And boy, was she not kidding. I found that learning coaching skills has really been a beautiful kind of link to just how I personally interact with people. And so it's really helped in terms of moving from being more of like a consultant where it's like, I'm here to problem solve for you. It's like, no, let's have a conversation so that you can actually work out what it is that you want to do and really take ownership of that. So I found that really useful for those types of conversations I have with colleagues. One of the biggest things for me was the community. And it was such an amazing space to be in with all these individuals who are really caring and all about supporting individuals and bringing their authentic self. So much so that I actually started the CTW program with the plan of only doing ACC, but the thought of not continuing with my cohort was just so disappointing to me that I was like, no, I have to continue on and do PCC. So that community aspect, I think, is just such a big part of the CTW program. And then finally, I think the other thing was all the tools and strategies that we were introduced to. Initially, it felt a bit overwhelming. I won't lie. It was like, oh my goodness, there's so many things that we could do. But the beauty of learning all of those and then getting to practice them, and then, Ferosha reminding us that in the end, you're going to make it your own. So you don't need to use everything, but this is like giving you a toolbox and then you can pick and choose. And I think that was really powerful, and the opportunities to practice with people so that you could see how even with the same tool or strategy, it gets used differently by different people. I really love that about the program. For me, the big thing is the continuing learning. So you do the modules, you do the classes, and sometimes you assume that, okay, then that means everything is done, even though you're going to be collecting coaching hours and stuff. But all the resources, including the individuals that make up your cohort and the materials that you get, are so wonderful in terms of things that you can turn back to, people you can reach out to. And I think that's one of the beautiful things about CTW was it really is a community that extends beyond the time that you are allocated to do the courses. For example, just recently, we had a happy hour for some of our cohort. And so I think that's the beauty, as everybody's talked about. You can sometimes be in spaces where people just don't get it. They're like, what are you doing? And so it's nice to be able to know they're individuals you can reach out to and say, hey, this is what's happening. What do you think? How would you approach this? And I think that's just such a beautiful thing about CTW and the experience I got out of it.